Yeah, Boxing Bros UK, tune in, watch the channel and enjoy. Enjoy this, thank you.
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK here. I am a History Boss Quiz. This is my co-host, Andrew the Boxing Brain. Topic of the day is Oleksandr Usyk, what is next? Everyone wants him to retire, but he's not retiring. He's got one more fight, whether we like it or not.
He signed a 2-fight deal and he said ages ago he's going to do 2 more. Dubai being one of them.
He said he wants 2 more fights and he signed a contract. He's got to have one more fight regardless. It doesn't matter what. He says, I'll retire. He's already signed his soul to Turkey Al-Sheikh already. He can't retire. Yeah. So, right.
But let's get into it. I know
Usyk's mandatories go. He's got all the belts. His first mandatory is Joseph Parker. He's WBO mandatory. That's the one from our channel. Yeah. As you can see, Parker, everyone wants Parker. Yeah, no one really wants Fury. So Parker's like the most popular one, as you can see. And this is the Twitter poll. Same again, Parker. Exactly. It's looking the way that people want Parker, you know?
That's really good that you've done that, actually, just to get an idea. And I think that the common census on the street, if it were like that, is to the ground on the street. And I don't think people are going Parker because it's like, oh, stylistically, that's the fight I want to watch. Because I don't really know with Parker. If it's the old version of Parker, he might try and move around and box, which ain't going to work. We know that. Under Andy Lee, he might try and sit on his punches, try and get under Usyk's jab, whatever. I think people are voting, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, because people feel that Parker deserves it the most.
I think that's it. And where he's such a lovely man, Parker is. Even when we met him, stopped for a photo. Like, the way, when he meets you, if you're a fan, he speaks to you like you're his mates and he's known you a long time. But he's not like, they're dead nice and friendly. So, right, the second one is, do you think it will be competitive, Joseph Parker and Usyk, if it happens? And what chance do you give him of winning?
It's a good question. Do I think it'll be competitive? I think it'll be fairly competitive. I think, look, Joseph Parker's on a good run of form. We know he's got bags of heart. He got up off the ground against Zhang. You know, he's been in wars against people like White, Chisora. You know, he's got bags of experience, been in there with AJ. His resume is arguably better than Daniel Dubois. You know, he's a big, strong man. He's got a decent chin, loads of heart, decent boxing IQ, good jab, decent mover. Is he on Usyk's level? No. Does he hit harder than anyone that Usyk's fought before? Probably not. I think it's a decent...
Well, doesn't hit harder than Dubois, a fact.
No. And I think his boxing IQ is a bit better. Is he a better all-round fighter than Fury? Look, I love Parker, like we said. Like, I'm just my honest answer to your question. Is he a better overall fighter than Fury? Probably not. At the moment, does he get him? He's in banging form. He's in his prime. Usyk still wins that, I think, on points, sort of majority decision, unanimous decision. But I think Parker will give it everything. That's basically my answer.
Okay, and then
you agree? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. Like, he's basically Parker's got. I don't think he's got any chance. I don't give him any chance of knocking Usyk out. He's got a puncher's chance, and that's really it. Because Parker's skills, Usyk's are better in every way. So he's got to make it like a real fight, and that's not Parker's game. So he's a really nice gentleman, and he's not fight outside the ring in his whole life. Did you know that? He's never had a tear up on the street, in school.
No,
he's not that kind of guy. He can't do it. And then, do you think it will be a big fight commercially, like the whole ethos of the fight? Do you think it's going to be like, it was at Wembley? You know, when you're watching it, like, ooh, who's going to win? What's going on? Everyone's up for it. Everyone can't wait to see it. Do you think it's going to have that kind of ethos about it, that kind of fight?
It's another great question, that is. Oh, bloody hell, that's another great question. Oh, what, Parker Usyk, I'm assuming? Yeah, I think it's obviously a big... Usyk's obviously a massive draw now. You know, his personality's coming out more. You know, he's as big as any British fighter on these shores. It's almost kind of, I think Usyk's like the British people's second fighter, if you know what I mean. And Usyk clearly, he loves Britain as well. He's referred to it as his second home. So it does good numbers, and they're decent kind of furore because of who he is. Parker's obviously a bit of a name over it. If I'm honest, I don't think it's got the same razzmatazz as an AJ Usyk, a Dubois Usyk, a Fury Usyk. No, I don't think it's going to have that. I think it's got a lot of interest around it. I think people will be rooting for Parker and will be pleased if he gets the fight. But essentially, I don't think it's on that scale, no. And I don't know, it's just a feeling I've got more than anything, Chris. I can't qualify it with anything really substantial other than it's a feeling.
Yeah, but for me, if you want it to be like how it was at Wembley, anticipation, the only way that's going to happen is if it happens in Australia or New Zealand or wherever Parker's from, one of them two. I think it's Australia. If it happens over there, in a big stadium out there like Wembley, 100,000, the Aussies are like us, they'll get out, they'll back their man. That's the only way it's going to have, because the Aussies will believe in Parker and get behind him and say that he's going to win. Because they're like us, a bit blindly stupid, like they'll give him a chance. And that's the only way. Otherwise, nah, I'm not sold on it, to be honest. And then last one, your opinion personally, do you actually want to see this fight?
Yeah, I see we can. Because this is where
are you excited? Like, can't wait to watch Usyk Parker or not?
I'm conflicted because I love Big Joe. I love him as a fighter. I love him, you know, as a man, what he represents. I love Usyk. He absolutely deserves this. I want to make that absolutely clear. He's the one that our poll says it. We think it. Everybody thinks it. Joseph Parker deserves that fight with Usyk. He deserves the payday, deserves the shot, deserves it all. Do I want to see it in terms of a spectacle and stylistically over Kabayel? Even though I want to see it over, I probably want to see it over the Fury fight because that's done. But in terms of, in that respect, there's probably other fights I would rather see in terms of entertainment. But he deserves it. That's my answer.
Oh, is that a no? Not really.
Yeah,
for me,
no, yeah. But I wanted to give it a bit more substance. But no, yeah.
For me, it's a no. I love Joseph Parker. I think he deserves it the most because he's put the hot work in, and people keep leapfrogging over him just because they're a bit more, making a bit more money. But I don't want to see it because it's just not going to be it's just going to be the same old shit. Usyk's just going to give him a boxing lesson probably because he likes him. He won't want to hurt him and knock him out, and he's just going to box him for 12 rounds, I reckon. You know? Yeah. So I don't want to see it. It doesn't get me excited. IBF mandatory. Derek Chisora.
Okay, I'm going to try and, you know, for the sake of our channel, which I love to, and all the rest of it, I'm going to try, you know, I'm just going to try and not disrespect Del Boy here, but 0%, yeah. I mean,
here's our poll. 0% of people want to see that fight.
To be fair, that's nearly 1,000 views as well. So that's 1,000 opinions as well. So that's fair. That's listen, love Del Boy, absolute warrior. I mean, 162 years of age, whatever age he is now. Love his trash talk. The build-up would be amazing. The banter between their good friends, they get on really well. The build-up would be great. It would do good numbers. It would be, right, all of that, right? But no. Don't want to see it. Not interested. Usyk will box his head off. Nora will. We know he'll be game. Use his jab to kind of step into getting rage. Throw big bombs over the top, not really landing anything other than on the gloves and on the, you know, he'll try and rough him. No,
Usyk likes Derek Chisora, so he'll do what Fury did. He'll carry him. You know, like Fury carried Chisora in that third fight at Wembley. He carried him. Yeah. And Usyk will do the same. He's not going to fucking take Chisora's head off. And the best Chisora that we ever seen, I reckon, was the one that fought Usyk the first time. And then obviously fought Joseph Parker. After that, very close fight. I thought Derek got the nod over Parker, to be honest, on that occasion, but he didn't quite get it. But that's the best Derek we've seen. So, same. I agree with you. No, don't want to see it. So, yeah, will it be competitive? No. Do you want to? Do you give him a chance of winning? Puncher's chance, if that. A very slim,
a low chance, not like a big. Dubois had a big puncher's chance. Chisora would have a low one. I don't know what that means, but you know what I mean. Yeah. One in 10,000 overhand right chance.
And then, would it be commercially massive for the casuals? Commercially, it would sell, like you said, it would sell, and everyone would get excited. All the casuals, because they see Derek Chisora walking around saying, "I'm the fucking daddy." And everyone's gaslighting Chisora like he's the only one who came close to beating Usyk, when actually it was Tyson Fury's the only one who came close. Who came closest. But none of them beat him, came really close at all. So it's irrelevant. So it could go that way for that reason, but I don't want to see it. Definitely not. So on to the third mandatory. Yeah, the third mandatory, that WBC. Agit Kabayel.
Listen, obviously,
So-
check out the interview with Big Ahis Chris on this. Good interview.
Yeah.
Nice little 5 minute.
I'm going to put a card. I'm going to put a card up there, yeah. It's going to be a card. Agit Kabayel interview right there. Boom. I'll put it in.
Again, a bit like Parker. I know they're really good friends, and I know there's been talk about those two fighting. I mean, that's only going to happen, like Chris told me today, which is correct, if it's for the World Championships, because they have a great deal of respect. They kind of look like brothers as well. All you three look like brothers. Chris, Joe, and Agit. All big men with big beards. It's all look very, again, lovely guy. Really, really like him. Out of the ones we've spoke about so far, that's the one I would most like to see. For me personally, out of all of them, of your poll there, I mean, I've got some. Stay tuned for the end because I've got a little mathematical theory going on.
Well, on the polls here, we've got Kabayel. He is. They want Fury a bit more than Kabayel on Twitter. It's like 15%, obviously. And here's the channels. Here's the channels
16%.
one. Same again. Moses Itauma. They want to see him fighting more than Kabayel.
16% though, yeah, that's decent. Listen, I'm going to qualify.
He's beating Fury anyway. I think it'll be competitive. And what chance do you give Kabayel of winning? More than Joseph Parker? Less?
I think it's the most competitive fight at heavyweight for Usyk. Usyk is a million miles. We've all said it. We all know it. He's a million miles ahead of anyone. If there's anybody stylistically, based on facts and data, what we saw with Chisora, yes, it wasn't a blueprint, but we know with Usyk, you can't box him. You're not going to match him on IQ. At least there's not anyone out there currently. We don't know enough with Moses Itauma yet. But in terms of pressure, constantly coming forward, good gas tank, great to the body, big strong man, got a chin, will hit Usyk with volume. He's got the most chance of nicking rounds and putting a dent in Usyk. Will he beat him? No, I still think Usyk finds a way of beating Kabayel.
Yeah.
But competitively, and what did you say? And the most chance of winning, for me personally, out of every current crop of heavyweights, Kabayel would be the man.
The one. Okay. And then is it a big fight commercially for the fans? Has it got the ethos of let's buzz like to get excited about it? You know what I mean?
This is the problem, right? Us hardcore, you're a massive fan of his. You love him. I'm almost as big a fan. I think I'm even more of a fan since I met him. I think he's great. The presence about him.
Nice guy.
No is the answer, unfortunately. I wish it would be, and the reason is because Kabayel's doing more media, like with Michael Hunter, and I'll mention him at the end. They're doing more media now to raise their profile, like what Parker's been doing the last couple of years. They're out doing more media, but the problem is Kabayel doesn't have that profile yet. So commercially, at Wembley, to the fans, half of those fans, I'm just theorising, won't even probably know Kabayel is, which is a bloody travesty, by the way.
Yeah.
This thing, it's a bloody travesty. But in terms of commercially and in terms of his media profile, it just isn't there at the moment, is it? Which is mad.
It's another one. It's another one, like, on that, for me. If he did it in Germany, on his home turf, it'd be massive, like Joseph Parker.
Huge.
But the only thing is, can they get it out there? And if it was on a Saudi card, it would only be for the hardcores. You'd have to have a stacked undercard. So it's one of them. So last one, you personally, do you want to see it? Do you think, what am I saying? That's going to be a good fight for you?
I would
get everything else.
I would love, I'll tell you what, I would be up against a screen like that. I'll be glued to that because I just think, I don't want to repeat myself, but Kabayel would bring the heat, and there won't be no quitting him, mate. There won't be no quitting Kabayel. We won't see Dubois, but no disrespect to Dubois. But Kabayel got knocked down by Zhang. There ain't no one more heavier-handed than Zhang, I don't think.
Yeah, I was going to say, he
got up off the ground and turned up the heat even more. So
yeah, and obviously coming in with that, like he tries to move around, create angles, and he does have head movement going to the body, So next one, Tyson Fury.
Oh, of course.
So, like, obviously, Oh, I just don't want to see this fight. The fuck, you can't just jump the queue. Like, just for the fact of his being a boy cry wolf, from retiring, and you think you can come out of retirement and fight again after the Dubois fight, let everyone else do the hard work and not earn your way for the rankings. Definitely not. We'll have a look at the polls quickly. This is the Twitter, 34%. So on Twitter, Fury was the second most voted for, quite high. On the channel, shit. And that's a bigger sample size on the channel, to be honest.
Interesting.
And, Fury's only got 9%.
Interesting, yeah.
So he's like the most person that they don't want to fight. Fight happened. Is it competitive? And what do you give Fury a chance for the upset?
If we saw, and I know we're not going to see as much kind of jumping in and out of range from Usyk and moving around. The guy's intelligence is actually adapts his style. Because he adapted his style, didn't he, quite a bit for the Dubois fight, planting his feet more and the rest of it. And he didn't get old overnight. At least he didn't look like it. I know Dubois didn't take him into deep waters or anything like that, but it certainly didn't look like it. Laser focused, looked totally on it. Is there a chance, if that happens April 2026 next year or whatever they were touting it as maybe happening, is there a chance Fury's aged overnight with his lifestyle? Probably. Is he on the decline? Probably. So is it competitive? Yeah, I mean, Fury's still got the ability, the boxing ability, and with a really good camp to make that competitive. Does he have any chance of winning? If anything, I actually think about this today. I actually think Usyk would stop him in a third fight. I really do.
Me too. So that's definitely not competitive and no chance. I feel the same. Like, if Usyk beat him more convincingly in the second fight, third fight, he's gonna write him right off. Because he only gets better the more he fights you, the more information. Yeah, I think he'll. And I don't. If someone's beat you twice, I don't want to see you fight them again. It's just pointless. So
that is charm.
Do you think this would be a massive, big commercial fight? Like ethos, like everyone will get excited for it.
Not as much, but it will still be because Fury's such a wonderful self-promoter, and his team around it. They'll find a way of. He's the master of spin, dare I say, the Fury family. They are the masters. They should be in politics. They're brilliant at it. So they'll have everyone convinced he's going to win.
I'll tell you how that fight will go. All build up, Fury and his team are going to be calling Usyk a cheating bastard. And you didn't win. I won them fights. I won them 2 fights. Everyone knows it. And then you know what's going to happen? Going to get in the ring and he's going to get the same treatment that Dubois got, and he's going to get fucking stretched out of the ring.
They were intelligent, and Fury's normally on the money with this. I'll give him this credit. You know, he has been a great fighter. I know he annoys people. We're sick of hearing from him, really, because he contradicts himself. But he is normally very, very good psychologically in the build-up. And if he had any sense, he would just be a mute throughout the whole pro. I know it might not set, but if he wants to win, if he wants to placate Usyk a little bit, that might be the way to go.
Oh. On a personal level, do you want to see it? Like, just for yourself?
I can't believe I'm actually saying this, because in a way I kind of wouldn't mind maybe seeing Usyk doing a demolition job on him in some ways, but I've not got really any heart or interest in seeing that again whatsoever. And I'm quite surprised I feel that way.
Yeah, I think if it was on, I reckon I'd probably watch it the next day on YouTube. Like, I wouldn't stay up and watch the whole card unless it was a decent undercard.
A part of me would like to see Usyk really get that bit of spite I saw in there against Dubois. I liked that from Usyk because he still had all the skills paying the bills, and he had the spite and Ivan over the top. And you notice with that punch as well, this is how good Usyk is, right? He throws that big Ivan over the top, and he's still got his right hand pinned to his chin.
Hold the phone, baby. Hold the phone, innit? Hold the phone.
So even when he's going more gung-ho and more aggressive and pressure and throwing more punches, still got that defensive mindfulness and mentality and discipline. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. He really is.
So, for me, I don't want to see that fight. I don't even want to see him give Fury a knockout. I can't be asked to listen to Fury for 3 or 4 months telling everyone how he won those 2 fights. I can't bear to listen to it. For that reason, I do not want to see this fight. Shut it down. Let's not see it, please. And he is jealous that everyone thinks that what he said he was, I'm up there, I'll beat Muhammad Ali, People are saying it about Usyk, and he's not saying it, he's being humble. Found out by Usyk, and he's seething with jealousy. I'm competitive still with other people, but with Usyk, I couldn't commit in the last fight, so he's going to be even more hesitant in this fight, especially where Usyk's holding his feet more and sitting down on his punches more. He's got that confidence at heavyweight now that he wants to take chances and hit people. He's fucked. So this guy, he's got all this sublime movement and skills, and now he's fucking punching people.
The Ivan come out to play in his repertoire as well. He's added that to the arsenal. Ivan.
That was the one thing, yeah. Usyk just peppers you, and he doesn't hit very hard, so you've always got a puncher's chance to stay in the fight. That's gone now. Now he's knocking motherfuckers out. So last one, I think we're going to disagree on this one. Moses, the wild card. Moses Itauma. This fight could happen for these reasons. Turkey Al-Sheikh. I want to see Usyk against Itauma. This is the fight. He wants. You know what Turkey did to Anderson? He didn't go through Bob Arum. He goes straight to Moses and says, look, I want you to fight Usyk. I think you can beat him. I'm going to give you 40 million. It's more money than he's ever seen in his life, yeah? So you fight Usyk next, yeah? After Dylan White. And I'm going to give that straight to you, flat fee. Forget Frank Warren. Frank Warren can take his percentage or whatever he's your manager, but I'm telling you, this is the deal. That's what he did to Anderson. And then Anderson said to Bob Arum, I'm taking the fight. And Bob Arum said, don't take the fight. And he said, yeah, but he sold that money. He went, all right, take the fight. And Anderson got himself knocked out by Bacoli. So I'm not saying that would happen to Moses, but that's one avenue. WBO number one contender. So let's say Usyk says, I'm going to vacate because I don't want to go straight back into camp yet. I want to relax a little bit more and decide what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be forced into it by anyone, which is fair enough. Then Joseph Parker and Moses Itauma, they will fight for the vacant WBO belt. If Moses Itauma beats Parker, then Usyk could come out, could say, all right, I'm ready now. I want to win my belt back and be three-time undisputed champion. And the Moses Itauma fight could happen. So that's two ways it could happen. On to the questions.
Yeah.
Let's look at the poll. The channel, Moses is the second favourite with 20%. Just beat Kabayel that people wanted to see.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Do you think if Moses fought Usyk, do you think it would be competitive? What chance do you give of Moses winning?
It's a really fascinating one, this one. And I know you come at it from a little bit different views. I think my head's definitely, I don't want to see. I mean, Itauma hasn't been past 6 rounds yet, I don't think. You know, he's been a brilliant amateur. You know, he's been undefeated across the board, isn't he? You know, skills for days. We know that he hasn't had his heart tested, his chin chest. We don't know. I don't know enough behind the scenes. Oh, he's local to us. We know a bit more about him than maybe others. I don't know. I just feel it would be way, way too soon. Would it be competitive? Yeah, because obviously Usyk is getting older and older. Itauma's got unbelievable speed and movement and reactions, and you know he would match Usyk for speed, if not more speed. Got good footwork. The experience though, and in terms of being at that magnitude and the pressure of the fight, for me it would just be too soon.
So you say Usyk's definitely going to win, and it won't be competitive, or it will be competitive?
I think he'd have Moses would have his best chance in the first 5 to 6 rounds. After that, it's unknown territory, Chris, for him. It'll be unknown. Yeah. The whole thing was unknown territory. It's a massive jump up in class. That's just where I'm at with it.
Moses Itauma, a big chance in this fight, more than anybody out there. I'm taking a punt on it. The reason why, so when Moses Itauma burst onto the scene, he wanted to beat Mike Tyson's record, right? And who were the champs when he would have had to beat it? Either Fury or Usyk. So he must have had in his head that I can beat these guys and I can beat them now. And he was trying to fight Joseph Parker. If he beat Parker, so he's mandatory for Fury, Usyk to try and do that. But obviously it didn't come to fruition. But Moses, and I think he was dead set on beating Tyson's record. And if he fights Usyk and beats him, he will be the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era ever. Not in Britain, ever. No one would have. So he can still cement his own legacy, a new legacy that's better than Tyson's. Not better, but he's got an extra belt and he's only a little bit older than him. Do you know what I mean? And he would have done it in less fights. So, and the reason why I give him a chance is because, as we've seen, all these new heavyweights, they're all really big, aren't they? Massive. And they're all really slow compared to Usyk.
Yeah.
I think that Moses could, obviously we don't know the unknown, what heart he's got or whatever, but I just think he's so calm, cool, and collective, and believing in himself. And I think that he's the only one with the skills who's got the speed to keep up with Usyk. And obviously, we don't know. Was Usyk holding his feet more with Dubois because he can't move around like that no more, like he used to? So he's just that's his new style for the last two fights. I'm going to hold my feet. We don't know. And no one knows because he's got such a poker face. I'll be Moses Itauma's time, and he believes, and he's got the fastest hands in the division, the speed, the footwork, the stamina, the youth, the fearlessness of I'm undefeated. I want to be the greatest, and I'm glad that I get to have a chance now because I just have a feeling if Moses fought, he'd have a good chance to be the most competitive out of all of them.
You're saying it's a good look. Why not go for it? Undisputed, he'd create his own history. Also, if he loses, he doesn't lose too much in his stock. He doesn't really. He's 21. He's not expected to win. So it doesn't harm his stock too much. And it's a massive opportunity.
He quit twice. No one cared. He quit, didn't he? He quit twice and came back and won an IBF title. So.
Yeah, it can be competitive because he can match Usyk for speed, his reactions, composure.
Question. For the fans, this fight, do you think everyone could get up for this and it could be like a special fight, special moment? Do you know what I mean? Moses, has he got the profile to sell out Wembley with Usyk now? After the Dillian Whyte fight, let's say, hypothetically say, he knocks Dillian Whyte out in a round, yeah? It's spectacular. Or he just looks good against Dillian Whyte and everyone's like, wow, gassing him up. Do you think he can sell out Wembley with Usyk? Everyone's going to be up for it and think he can win.
That's a good question. Because the way that promo will be built, it'll be the young, future undisputed champion taking a risk against the generational talent. The way it'll all be done by Turki Al-Sheikh, Frank Warren and the promoter. I think that could be massive, Chris. I really do. I think that could be huge.
And me. And it'd be like a Rocky Balboa story kind of thing, like we're not giving Parker the shot, like Kabayel, all these guys, we're giving it to the young lion, a bit like when Mayweather fought Canelo. Sell it like Moses is going to dominate the division for years because he's so young. When Usyk's retire, they'll sell it like he was knocking out AJ and Dubois and Joyce when he was 15 in sparring. They'll probably use them stories. I think Dubois was good knocking out AJ. He was knocking out everyone in sparring, everybody. Yeah, so they'll probably... I think it could be really, really, really big, and it could be like the old lion versus the young lion. And even if he loses, I just think he'll be competitive. It's just a hunch. He could get in there and shit his pants and be a David Price, and that's it. That's the Moses Itauma story. Finished. And if you want to see it personally, if it was to happen next, would you be excited and think, yeah, I'm going to watch that pay-per-view?
See, this is where it's a really hard answer. Actually, I'm not sitting on the fence because I would love to watch it. I would be fascinated. That in my mind is the Rocky Balboa story. You're right. It's like, all right, he's done what.
It's me excited. If that happened, I'd be excited.
Yeah, I want to see it next. No, but purely because I just think
he's not ready. Yeah, I get what you mean. If you had to choose, you want to watch it for a personal level, but you don't really want to see it now. You'd rather see like Kabayel more. Kind of thing.
I'd want to see Kabayel more, and I want to see Moses Itauma. And look, timing's everything, and I get that Usyk's like getting older, but I want to see Itauma in an undisputed fight when he's a lot more ready.
Because the reason why this fight is the most exciting fight for me for Usyk next, the fact that if he beats Moses, he's an all-time great. If Moses goes on to dominate the division like we all think he does. And he beats him and then retires. Wow, what a legacy. Not only did he beat everyone in his era, and he beat the future fucking legend. We know what's going to happen in the Parker Usyk fight, roughly. We know what's probably going to happen in the Kabayel fight, really. Even though I give him the most chance, a big fan. We don't know how good Moses is. And like people like Mike Tyson, that tournament where he became undisputed, and he beat Michael Spinks and Larry on all them bit, whatever. When he fought that undisputed tournament, that was a bit like the Ali one that we've just had, but it was like one from the 80s. Everyone was slagging Tyson off, saying, he knocks everyone out in 2 rounds. We don't know how good he is, blah, blah, blah. He's probably not going to win this. He could be a hype job. And he got in there and he fucking sparked everyone out in 2 rounds.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't know. You don't know.
In this era, we don't know what the next era coming through is going to be like in terms of quality. And imagine that on Itauma's resume, that He's beaten not a washed-up Usyk. Usyk that's done a demolition job on Dubois. And imagine that. Imagine that. And then he goes on to dominate the only ifs and buts. But it would certainly it would look fantastic for him moving forward into his career.
So, like me, I'm excited for that fight. And like, obviously, I'm not a fighter. I'm a fan, and it's the only fight that I really get my juices going. I get behind Kabayel and that, but
I get it.
Moses, I really fancy that fight.
You've obviously got Kabayel's the WBC interim, Parker's the WBO interim. Itauma's #1 with the WBO, which is why he's in the conversation. Pulev's the WBA regular, but forget about that for a minute. Hunter's #1 with the WBA. So in theory, you've got Itauma versus Parker, right? If Usyk vacates the WBO belt, which some are talking about already, we already know he's going to fight one more time. So you could conceivably have Itauma versus Parker. The winner of that, then when Usyk's ready, then comes and fights for undisputed again. You've also got Akoli, who's #1 with the WBC. So maybe these are just fight theories I've got. Maybe he fights Kabayel, because I think that would be stylistically interesting. I think Kabayel does a job at him. Pulev versus Hunter is next up, and that's we know that, and Michael Hunter said that himself. The winner of that is probably going to face Wardley, who's also high up in the rankings. So you've also got Wardley in the mix as well. So you outside of what we're talking about today, you've got some interesting potential matchups that lay the land of the heavyweight division as well. So
less Turkey, a heavyweight division where everyone has to fight everyone because Usyk's got the belt, so they'll all have to fight each other until he retires. That's great, man. Who do you want to see him fight? The names are popping up here. Who do you want to see him fight, and why? What ones get you excited that you actually want to watch?